Welcome to the California Football Officials Association Week 7 Instructional Bulletin. Got a bunch of good plays here for us tonight, so I won't waste any time. Let's just get into it. And just a quick refresher from last week, and what do you know? We talked about goal line extended and then got a great piece of film on a great goal line play. But just as a quick reminder, in order for the goal line to be extended for the runner, there needs to be some sort of contact in the field of play that does not include the pylon. And again, that's a little bit different than rules on Saturday and Sunday. So the pylon is considered out of bounds based off of NFHS rules, and you need to have, the runner needs to have a body part in bounds, touching in bounds, in order for that goal line to be extended. So let's take a look at the next play. So in looking at this play here, we're going to talk about when the goal line is extended and when it is not. And even though this is a clip from Saturday and showing 7-person mechanics here, I know a lot of our units use 7-person mechanics, especially in league games, but pay attention to the quarterback here as he begins to scramble and then runs downfield. We're going to see a great dive here and hit the goal line. First and foremost, if we're working 5-person mechanics, line judge in this particular case, it's a really difficult call for you. This is a really long run by the quarterback. Do your best to get down to that pylon. If you're working 7-person mechanics, or if this is a little bit closer to the goal line, we snap a little bit closer to the goal line, get to the goal line and get in position. As you notice this deep flank here, you can see is at least, I would say, 5 to 6 yards, off of that pylon, giving himself plenty of space, to be safe. You can kind of see his shadow a little bit there, and then you can see his arm starting to clip in a little bit, but he's given himself plenty of space and backing up and holding that goal line. So first and foremost, great goal line mechanics here, by this official. But as this runner, leaves his feet there at about the 3 or the 4 yard line and becomes airborne and getting pushed out by players, right there is really where you need to make the determination on whether or not that ball crosses the goal line in the field of play, or was it outside of the pylon there? And, as we talked about this with a couple of folks this week, my mantra here is we really don't need to be that good. We don't have 22 different camera angles, etc. Call what you see. And if you see the ball, inside that pylon, then it's a touchdown. We don't need the goal line extended, given that this runner does not have a body part down in bounds. So if this runner is airborne and that ball crosses the plane of the goal line, right about there, then this is a touchdown. If the ball was, say, in his right hand, it would be spotted at the foremost point of the ball where the ball went out of bounds, because that player would then make contact out of bounds there. So really good mechanics-wise here, and just a good illustration of how this will come up. Our next clip here tonight, we're going to take a look at a good example of helping or assisting the runner, and take a look at that fullback in the backfield, first making contact with the quarterback who receives the snap, and then making direct contact and pushing the quarterback into the end zone. We're going to get a better look of it here from the end zone view, and then I'll rewind it a little bit. But we know from 9-1 that an offensive player should not push, pull, or lift the runner to assist his forward progress. So I think our standard here for CFOA is if the contact, is direct. They can push a pile forward, but in this particular case, given that the fullback has his hands directly on the back of quarterback number 6 there, we're going to want this called for helping or assisting the runner, and this is going to be a 5-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot, or excuse me, from the spot of the foul, using the 3-and-1 principle. So right here, let's not split blades of grass. We can take this from the previous spot, but if this were kind of a forward progress beyond the line of scrimmage, we would want this enforced from the spot of the foul. And so just a reminder, with this free kick here, with Fred Robertson, when I got started, that always said a kick is a kick is a kick is a kick until it's not a kick anymore. So if you're out there, Fred, thank you again. I never forgot that. But here we have a free kick that goes over the receiver's head there, and he looks like he tips it. Doesn't really matter. This is still a kick, and as soon as it crosses the plane of that goal line there, this play should be blown dead. So, referees really hold the goal line there. You don't need to back up at all. Once that ball crosses the plane of the goal line on a kick, this should be blown dead. Another reason why we've asked our umpires to be on the goal line as well, to help assist with this, especially there in the middle of the field. But a kick is a kick is a kick, and this should have been a touchback. And I am not going to play the whole clip here, but somebody actually said that we might have set a new record for a CIF kickoff return for a touchdown at 101 yards. This next clip here, we're going to take a look at an illegal formation by the kicking team, and notice here at the top of the screen that we've only got two Team K players lined up to the left or the right of the kicker, depending on how you're looking at this. So this is one of the rare exceptions where an illegal formation is a dead ball foul. So especially in a varsity game, back judge, you're going to definitely want to get this action before you let the referee know that the ball is ready for play, or at least, remind the kicker that he needs minimum of 4 players lined up on both sides for this to be a legal formation. Again, they can always shift into a legal formation before the kick, but if they don't, we're going to want to shut this down and call an illegal formation. We back them up 5 yards, and this would be re-kicked given the dead ball foul here. And here we're going to take a look at the action and the illegal block below the waist. It's a tough get, but umpires, this is your pre-snap key. You've got ball, making sure that we have a legal snap, and then transitioning to the right tackle and to your left there. So umpires, pay attention to this action, but you see that action there by the right tackle, A62, is an illegal block below the waist. And we know that this block, it's legal to block below the waist when the following conditions are met. All players are lined up on the line of scrimmage and in the free neutral zone at the snap. The contact is, so we got check there. The contact is in the zone. This is a little bit questionable on whether or not the defensive end 38 there is within the free blocking zone, and that the block is immediate initial action following the snap. And given that number 62 rises here, takes a couple of steps over to his right, and then blocks below the waist, this is an illegal block below the waist that we need to get. And our final play here tonight, chalked this one up to something we may never see again, but it was interesting. Got this sent in and asked about it this week. But here we are in a legal scrimmage kick formation. So there are numbering exceptions in this particular case. So I don't know, what do we want to call this? A swinging gate punt formation. But here we see that we've got a kicker that's lined up more than 10 yards or more in the offensive backfield. So we know that when we have a person more than 10 yards in a position to receive a long snap from the snapper, that this is a legal scrimmage kick formation. So, but we know that the kicker and anyone there on the shield, not numbered 50 to 79, would be eligible to touch a pass in this case, and then both players on the end of the line of scrimmage here. So that would include the snapper and then the player at the top of the screen there. So anyway, we may never see a swinging gate punt formation again, but in the event that we do, we know how to officiate it now. Finally tonight, our pregame discussion for the week. A 3rd and 20 from the A10s. The line to gain is the A30. Quarterback A1, finding no one open, begins to run up the middle of the field. At the A17, A1 drops his hips and begins the slide before B55 tackles him. B55 forcefully contacts A1 at the A19. The umpire has a flag for a personal foul, late hit, or unnecessary roughness. At the snap, both flanks threw flags for 5 backs in the offensive backfield. So talk about this. Flanks, what are you going to say when you get together? Umpire, what are you going to contribute to that? Referee, what is your announcement? And what is the down and distance after enforcement of these penalties, if any? That's going to do it for this week's bulletin. As just a reminder, if your unit gives instructional credit for watching these bulletins, there's a quiz embedded in the description of this video right below in the description. And just a quick FYI, if you can believe it, my daughter is turning 1 next week. Time really does fly, and we are going to be out of town for a couple of days. There's not going to be a high school bulletin next week. So have a great week 7, everybody, and I will be back week 8 with a little bit of a longer bulletin and a longer quiz for additional instructional credit, since I will miss next week. Slow whistles, call what you see. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.